is meant to be a discussion and an experience sharing session, so to say. We have Mariana, Diego, and Voni. I think we can start by them just introducing themselves, telling a little bit about their institutions and the role in which portal plays in them. Then I had a couple of questions for them, and then we'll open the floor for questions. So look at these faces. These are the people who have been able to migrate onto the new Pure portal. Some of them are already live. Some of them are getting there and have a specific date they're aiming for. So, yeah, I will. I think Mariana, shall we start with you? Okay. Yeah, tell us a bit about yourself and the institution.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, hi, good day, everyone. I'm Mariana Gonzalez. I work for the Anáhuac Mayab University, which is a member institution of the Regnum Christi universities. As I work as a research and publication coordinator in Anáhuac Mayab, and also have the global administration of the Pure across the network. So yes, we are a group of 15 institutions in different countries. Later, I'm going to talk about more about that. And by now, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Voni Nogales. I'm the library system analyst for Augusta University, and I've been leading the Pure system for about 6 years now. I do want to talk a little bit in regards to the institution that I work for. So Augusta University was founded in 1828, and it's a leading public research university in Georgia and home to the state's only public health center. We currently have 3 main campuses. Those are located in Augusta, Georgia, but we do have other small medical college campuses around other cities in the state. Augusta University offers around 150 academic programs across 11 colleges and schools. And we do have very strong programs in cyber science and nursing. There are around 2,000 faculty employees, 10,000 students, and our Pure system supports around 1,200 researchers. As I mentioned before, I'm the administrator for the Pure system, so I basically handle all the technical aspects, configuration, data management, updates, etc. But I do work closely with a scholarship data librarian, and she's in charge of working with researchers, making sure, that profiles are up to date. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. I'm Diego Lozano from the University of Monterrey. Monterrey is located at the northern of Mexico. We took a 2 hours flight from Monterrey to Tijuana, and then we crossed. So it was a short flight. At the University of Monterrey, we have been using the Pure since the 2019, so 8 years now, and we are excited to migrate to the new portal since it has a very nice look and feel. So excited to share our comments here.
Yeah. First of all, I'm so sorry. I think I pasted the same screenshot wrongly, so this is on me. I'm really sorry for that. Yeah. So my first question: maybe you could tell a little bit about the migration process for you. What was your experience? What went well? Where you think, yeah, it's a tricky part, others might need to pay more attention. So maybe we start the other way around with you, Diego.
Yeah, actually, what Irina offered us to participate, we accepted, and we have a couple of we have a testing, how to say, testing environment, and we at the beginning we have some small issues, and we gave them feedback a couple of times, and they fixed them quite fast. So it took us actually like a couple of weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks, and we felt very comfortable to migrate. There's small issues still going on, but nothing to be um, not able to share with the researchers and the community. So we migrating was quite easy, actually.
Well, the migration process is going pretty smoothly. Definitely a team effort. We haven't completed yet. We're still in the process, but we feel we're in a good place. I do want to just share very briefly how is our process and where we are now. So basically, we started with a structure phase approach. It started with assessment and planning, just making sure why we're doing or trying to understand why we did this change, what we would like the new portal to do for our institution. Then we moved to design and development, where we align all the new portal with the Augusta University brand guidelines. And that included all the data contents. Then, we make sure the structure of the pages, and of course included all the features that we felt we needed it. Then we moved to testing, and that's where we are at the moment. We're doing several tests with users and researchers, just making sure that they feel comfortable using the new portal. I'm not sure if we had something easy or hard. I mean, I guess everything has been very complicated for our institution. But we did have the collaboration with the Pure Support team. They're the ones who connected the back end with the new portal. They made our life easier, at least in that part, and we only allow us to focus more on refining the front end. But the trickiest part has been for us the validation side, making sure that the portal works correctly. So there's two things for us: that the information is displayed correctly, and also that the new portal behaves as expected. So all search, URLs, links, search boxes, everything needs to work as it's supposed to. So those two type of things has been a very long process, but for us, it has been a very detailed process, and we need to ensure accuracy and usability. So that's very important. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are in the same page. We are also quite new in the migration process. We are in the evaluation scheme right now. Just to express, we express our interest to do the migration. Just contact Irina and she start to do everything. So by 1 week or 2, we had the new environment. We start to look inside try to familiarized with the with the backend to configure the front end, sorry. And I think that the easiest way was from the side of Elsevier or Pure, the people of Pure. And the trickiest thing, and we are struggle with, is the complexity of our organization. I work for the Anáhuac Mayab, which is one of the member institutions, but we have a network inside the network, a group of universities called Anáhuac that belongs to Mexico. And in the upper, at the top, we have a bigger office or provost counselor or people that takes stakeholders that take the decisions. And we need to, we depend on of what they want. So we are only operate the system. And yes, by now we are trying to see that the information is good display, and we need to decide. I think that we are going to decide what kind of cards from the template are going to be the most or the correct to show all the information of every researcher, and not to miss some of the boxes or information or metrics or something, because we have researchers in a different level of maturity. So we need to decide what cards we need to hide or to show. Yeah, I think by now is that.
Just following up on that, because you all mentioned how you're collaborating with different internal stakeholders. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about how that process went. Like, how did you talk to them? Did you involve them a lot? Yeah, who wants to start? Bonnie, do you want to start this time? Or?
Well, right now for us, since I mentioned before, we're in the testing process. So we're focusing more on validating the data. And even though the data migration was pretty straightforward and was handled by the Pure support team, we are still, we're still using a significant amount of time carefully reviewing the data. It's taking some time on that. We reviewed every single page, every data type, every section by section, and we found some visibility issues. Some information are not displaying correct, at least for our institution. So we have reported to the Pure team, we submitted a ticket, they're still working on that for us. But we have to make sure that we do all these tests very careful for different scenarios. Not all researchers have the same information to be displayed, so we have to make sure that it works for different situations, right? So that's why it's taking some time, at least for us in our process, and that's why we had to move our dates, our first initial date time, and that's why we did not make it live, our new portal.
In our case, the last 2 months we were running the annual assessment. So we delay a little bit the migration until we finish the assessment, because the researchers were using a lot the research portal, the peer portal. But we have like 1 week since we migrate, and we haven't received any comment from the researchers. So this is good, because if they are actually in the annual assessment and they don't see the information displayed correctly, they will be complaining in a minute. So the only comment we have is, but we fix it, I think, in the same day with Irina, is when we were public, we didn't have the peer login, but it was quite easy to solve. So the researchers were like, I don't know where to log in to update my information, but regardless of this, everything was smooth so far. Perhaps, as you say, some content might be missing. We are not aware of the situation in our portal right now, and we all already uploaded some videos in media and links with photos to our research web page, so we can interact with more information on more sites. So this is wonderful. The portal offers you new features that are very appeal, like videos and photos. I think it's limited in the case you cannot change the size of certain boxes, like a Google size, like that you can change everything or place a button, but it's definitely changed enormously how you see the portal. So for us has been very, very, very easy and smooth. The first time we test the environment, we were missing photos and some information, but with the support with Irina and all the Elsevier team, we solved it. Well, they solved it in a couple of days. So before we went to the migration. So far we have very good experience.
Okay, yes, for communicate the migration, we have several meetings with research office heads, and we meet maybe every 2 months. We communicate the changes that we are about to do, and we are not live now. We want to launch the new portal and a community module with the help of the pure people, because in the Regnum Christi we have 2 instances, one for Francisco de Vitoria in Spain and 14 institutions in Americas. So we are working in a split way, a separate way, but we are trying to do it in parallel, trying to migrate at the same time. But yes, we need to decide both instances, which is the information we want to put in there in the front end. Yeah, we talked to the research head, and they have below 2 or 3 people that to the management of the information. And the global administrator that is me and two more people. We are working in a simple communication, emails or calls or Zooms to decide what is going to be displayed and showcased, and what of the cards we are going to select to show the things. So yeah, we are quite new on this. We are doing in a simultaneous way, working to launch the community module, which is not an easy thing, and in addition, migrate to the new portal. So we are doing a switch between the working team and Pure. But yeah, we have any doubt that Irina and the team is, every time we have a concern about information is not displayed, links or cards or colors, even links, everything, they help us to solve or explain us why not. And yeah, I think is that.
Thank you. I'm just looking at the clock. I think it's time for us to open to the floor to questions, so that it's a bit more, so you get your questions answered. So anyone who has an immediate question? Okay.
Thanks, Jay. It's a pretty basic question. I'm wondering, we train people on the administrative back end, on them. They have a lot of familiarity on how to manage their content, whether it's adding new activities or changing their profile or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how much of a difference there is, and truth be told, I have not played in there at all. So I'm just wondering how much difference is it for someone to go into their to their profile, and is there a big difference in what they see?
I mean, the individual, like how they are submitting the data. So an individual researcher, faculty member, how they submit the data, that doesn't change for them.
No,
like
okay.
There is no change. So you don't have to train extra. The only thing I can think of is just remind them to assign a classification to the image, because otherwise they won't display. Otherwise, nothing's changed.
Great to hear. Thank you.
But for the administrators, we have a lot of documentation, and we are now almost ready with the course. So that will become live. And then it kind of takes you through the main things, the main settings, how to do it. So that will be there as well.
Yes, the only thing that changed, as far as I know, is only the backend for the administrator. So it maybe will took some time to understand how is configured the backend, the backend for the administrator. But once you start to use it, it's quite easy. Start to change and switch from organization and persons and everything, and the colors, even I don't know the structure of the backend. Yeah.
I would say, even though it's a manual, you actually can go and it's how do you say, very user-friendly. So it's every section, and you can plus, add image, add sections, whatever. So it's quite easy to use.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yeah, please.
Do you customize every content type? I know person you do, I know the homepage you do, you said organization, but are you doing it for research outputs and activities and prizes? Are all of those kind of this new tile selection format? And what separately, beyond data validation, what caused it? Did anything cause a bigger rethink of how you present the data? This new format, was there anything that I'd say presented the most challenges, or really kind of invoked the most thought and conversation around how you want to present it? Any specific content types or format layouts, how you order things? If you had to start at the end, what piece of advice would you give?
I personally do not like how the filters are working. They are sorted, for instance, the years are sorted from the A to C. So in our case, you will see 2014, 15, 16, and then show more. But the ones we use more is 2026, so 25. So there's some changes that we can, as users, we cannot change. So I think you, as Elsevier, they have to change it from feedback. So some small changes in the filters that can be changed. I would expect the filters work as similar as Scopus, but it's not working the same. So you can limit to or exclude to certain types of contents, but it's not working right now this way. But I think it's something in the future weeks they can change. And in the customization, we have customized the homepage, and the other pages I think is just the person. For instance, you can have the list, and you can have I think 2 columns, but it would be great if you can add 3 columns or something like that.
3 columns or large cards, but yeah, you can't do 2 columns, so that's not there. Let the speaker say, and then I'll answer a bit more on your question.
Just adding to what my here is doing the presentation, but I feel that for us, we did customize every single data type pages, but in some cases, there are certain things that we cannot do, or sometimes some filters are not working correct for us. I think our biggest problem that we had for researchers was in the persons page, that right now is showing every researcher in one single row, and researchers ask if they could be in multi-column like it was before, and also the email is not showing and other information doesn't show unless you click and you go directly to their specific profile. That was our biggest thing. Those things we cannot change at the moment, right? So we're just submitting those tickets to Pure and see if they can implement that for us. But then the portal, I feel for us, more than the visual phase, it was reviewing that the data was correct. That's more important for us, at least at the moment, and making sure that everything goes right. So, yeah.
You maybe get used to it, to the new way it shows, for example, the organization hierarchy or the different research outputs, I mean the activities, prices, whatever. But back to you, yesterday they recommended people doing the workshop for the new portal. By now we have one template as a default. The idea is to show more templates in the future, near future, but by now the most difficult thing, I think you're going to need to decide what cards in what order you are going to present, because different researchers have more or less information, so the cards shows asymmetrical, is not the same. So maybe some professor or researcher will have metrics, but the other one only have the, I don't know, email, or he has no activities. So you need to decide which information is going to show. And that would be the most, for us by now, what I have seen is that it's going to be a discussion between us.
I think, yeah, just to follow up on that. So for all of these early adopters, before they got to their testing site, I spent some time looking at the data and what template would work for them. In the default template, what you're going to get is the usual scroll through experience, so only the large cards. The benefit of this is that you don't have, as Mariana mentioned, this asymmetrical view. It's basically making sure that if you don't have this data, then it all just moves up. So in terms of improvement suggestions, so yeah, they always come in. If that's a bug, then that's more prioritized. If that's more of an improvement suggestion, yeah, the more people requested, the more prioritized it is. So yeah, about the years, this should be there very soon. About excluding certain things, that's like, you couldn't do that on the current portal, so it's a bit more of an advanced functionality, so that will come later. So it's from that logic that we prioritize. Yeah, sorry, you had another question?
So as far as data reconciliation goes, can you give me some tips and tricks? Where have you started? Are you doing a full reconciliation? Are you doing a random sampling? You're looking at them side by side? Because there's probably one half of the people that are going to have to do this. I'm very interested.
Well, basically, we started comparing first. We want to make sure that the new portal reflects the same information as the old portal, right? So that's what we did. We compared first, like I said before, page by page, section by section. We choose different researchers, some that they have more information, some that they have less. It's taking us still some time. Then we pick 10 researchers from different departments. We had to create accounts for them, and they're still testing, but we don't get the emails back really fast, right? They take their time because now they have to register, they have to do all that in order to play around with the portal. And it's just taking some time. We first thought that we're going to launch the new portal by April, but just analyzing and making sure that they like and they feel comfortable, we didn't really thought it was going to be that time consuming. So for us, definitely has been comparing first and then picking different sections and trying to see if the information is correct.
Yeah, for the network, we implemented this since 2023, so we are in 2 years. People start to using it in a more regular way or basis. I think with the change is an opportunity with the migration of the portals, since for us, I think it's going to be a cultural shift. The actual portal is a platform to visibility, and we think is already achieved in a modest way. But with the new portal and the new capabilities it has, I think the researchers are going to be happier with the way it is showing information. So they are going to be able to show, as far as they feel the information in the backend, in their user backend. I think they are going to be happy how it's done. So it's not just only fill the information in the actual portal, but as soon as you see a change in the way you see the external audiences, so it's going to be good for them. And it will encourage them to feel more and more fields in the system. Yeah.
As I mentioned before, we start with the testing environment, and we spent, I think, 2 or 3 calls with Irina, and then after each call, we spent like 1 hour, 2 hours, and gave her feedback, and then come back the next week. So actually, it would take us a couple of hours for us, like for to be in this stage, in a couple of weeks, of course. And then we spent perhaps 1 day adding some images and links and the multimedia content. But since we already have it in the web page, it was 1 day at most. And at this moment, as I mentioned, we accepted to migrate. We are missing some small things, but reasonable things. And we decided to migrate in order to use it and be using in release it to the researchers in order to have some feedback, to provide feedback for Elsevier. Otherwise, we will be using the testing environment once a week or once 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, and you cannot. Well, so if you want to learn to swim, just jump to the pool. So that's what we did. We just jump, but we are doing good so far.
Thank you. Another thinking about other institutions in other regions that are early adopters. So we have somebody who is also going the way that Voni went, so looking very closely at like a panel of things. I would say that around 60% of their questions was just around the template, so them not realizing there's a button or something like that. So that's a very quick resolution. Some of them were more around the rules, and some they just realized that there are bugs, or they have, because they've been a pure customer for a very, very long time. They have some corner cases in the data or something that's been added 10 years ago, and now you're like, okay, this is not quite looking how we thought it would. So yeah, undoubtedly there are some corner cases, but because we have the early adopters, then we learn through that. So yeah.
And also, there are some changes. So, for instance, I really liked in the former portal the chart with when you pick a profile, and there's a chart with the activities or the publications. It's a small chart, but visually you can have an idea if the researcher is active or not. And I asked Arena and said, well, this is a decision is that is not going to be right now in the new portal unless the users ask for. So even I liked this chart. If it's a decision, we understand that the system or the visualization is different. Some things will not be there. So it's not a bug. It's simply it's just that it's not in the new portal. So we cannot stop our migration because I like this small chart. So we accept that it's different. The visualization is different. So as when you change for a new mobile, something is different. So you have to accept the changes.
Thank you. But I think just to highlight, I mean, again, this is always a work in progress. We always continue developing the portal. So, yeah, like you said, oh, I like the bar chart. Specifically for the bar chart, the reason why it's not there is because a large percentage of customers have disabled it because they say it creates a lot of pressure on researchers, like, you know, you get individual questions like, oh, what is this gap in your CV? And you're like, no, didn't happen. So yeah, it's that. But again, as we're getting more feedback, we can prioritize the features that are most requested. So yeah, it's, you know, even when everyone migrates, it won't be the end of the road. We'll keep developing the portal.
Metrics for all the different content.
Yeah.
You're talking about the bar chart?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bar chart, yes.
I like the quantitative metrics on
Oh yeah. So the
those
counts.
weren't in.
Yeah. So those counts. I guess you looked at the playpen. They're not there yet. Yeah, they will be there by the end of the year. So yeah, we are adding those in.
This is a question for the team. We are going to miss the alternative metrics are going to be shown in every research output.
LAMEX is there, Altmetrics
will be there.
Yeah,
so, and in other hand, if you, in the actual portal, if you try to do some code for the HTML, you can do it, but in this one, I think it's not going to be possible right now. So if you trying to do some things, it's not gonna be easy, sorry. But yeah, I think by now you can only show us a bold text, and is the only thing that you're going to, I mean, you are going to miss some of the things that are in the portal, but it's an adaptation process, so I think it's a good changes.
To answer that, Mariana is absolutely correct. There won't be any HTML code insertion. The main reason for that is basically security. It's a security risk. When we removed that functionality, what I did, I went through every single portal looking at what's on the homepage, and usually it's inserting links, images, inserting, text and images. So now you have tools that actually allow you to do that. So you don't have to CSS magic around this. You can just use the tool.
Yeah, we can't do HTML, but we can still add URLs. At least I did it in my portal. So because for us, something important was edit your profile. We didn't like it at the very bottom. We had it before like a button at the top. So now we can't do that unless you create a big box button, I guess. So we just decided to add an URL, bolded, and at the top page, but I do miss the part of the HTML, sorry, but that's something we gotta adapt, like you said.
Yeah, and I think with these special tools, like that's also work in progress. There are a couple of things that we might add, like adding buttons or something like that. It's not there yet, but this is, again, if we get a lot of demand for that, we can prioritize and enable these tools. Cool. Any more questions or any more comments from the panel? I think we're at time.
All right, well, we're at time, so let's thank our panelists.